this week's episode of Peanut City Police. Today we are joined by two of our newest graduates, Officer Fechner and Officer Bass. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So they just graduated from the academy, so I just want to start by asking you all why you chose the career path to be a police officer.
As a child, I've always wanted to be a police officer. I joined the Navy at 19 years old, did 25 years, and thought, well, I still have a lot of life to live, and it'd be a great way to finish off my childhood dreams and be a police officer.
That's awesome.
That's good. For me, it's a little bit different. I probably thought about it as a child. My grandfather was a police officer. I went to the Navy as well at 18. And life just, was lifing, and did many other things prior to this, but as I moved back to this area, I was like, what can I do that has an impact? And so being a police officer and
That's great.
Okay. Now, why did you choose Suffolk?
I moved to Suffolk. And honestly, just being here before and understanding some of the areas, and everybody has their own crime, and statistics are different everywhere, but I enjoy the diversity here, right? You have up north is more city and developing, down south is more rural. I like just that complex of different people.
Thank you.
I was here in '99 as a junior sailor and thought the East Coast, for the first time being here, so I'm from West Coast, was an awesome place to be. So once I was transferred here from the military in 2019, right before the COVID pandemic, a lot of opportunities here in Suffolk were shut down due to the pandemic. However, I lived here for 6 years prior to, joining the police department. And the small town atmosphere and the everybody knows everyone type thing is what I've always wanted to be a part of when I was a kid, always growing up in big cities. So yeah, that was a no-brainer for me, that this small family dynamic city, and the people are great, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
That's cool.
That's awesome. And you guys both mentioned previous Navy, so maybe your experience in the academy was a little bit different than people who maybe are freshly in their early 20s or something like that. But can you give us an inside look at kind of what you guys did in the academy and how it prepared you to be a police officer?
I think the academy was more geared for the younger personnel. Again, I already had a prior career, so I'm mid-40s, and the academy was basically just to get you a starting point or a base where once you get to your individual department or agencies, you kind of build from that. There are a lot of young personnel that are in the academy. You still have that high school type atmosphere that people still aren't behaving the way they should. But the structure is there. The military concept, where we do colors or raising and lowering of the military flag or honors, that is all there. So they're bringing in a lot of that, and then the marching and the cadence. So I think it's a great starting point for them to build their structure and how to do the military type lifestyle, which kind of plays hand in hand with policing, just because of the wearing of a uniform and having a rank structure and a chain of command and so forth. So
yeah, I think much like Fechner, it does play. A lot more of the younger people have not experienced life, and so you need some type of structure and discipline. And the academy kind of, in a nutshell, give them just the baseline, like not even to the extreme. We was able to still go home, right? So in the military, we 8 weeks, depending on what you go through, 8 weeks, and you're away from your family. But here you get to go home, so you're still integrating yourself into this lifestyle. As in the military, they just kind of like, nope, you're going to be a United States, sailor or Marine or soldier. So here you're like slowly, gradually get into the mindset in the disciplines of what it's going to take for you to be, you know, a police officer in this area. So.
On top of that, with the physical activity too,
Yeah.
some people haven't done group physical activity before, so that was a change for a lot of people too.
I think that's interesting, y'all's perspective to compare, because we've done a few of these with some of the other graduating classes, and they were younger, they sat here, they were like, I had to learn how to be organized, I had to learn how to, you know, be early and all this stuff, and, you know, you guys kind of already had that because you have that military background, which is kind of what they're integrating in the academy.
Yeah.
So it's good perspective.
And what is something you both hope to accomplish as a police officer?
I like to be, you know, change, an ideal role model. I have kids, so holding myself to a standard of just being honorable, being somebody people can look to and ask for guidance or even feel protected. So for me, something I would want to accomplish here is just continue to build that legacy for myself as somebody who is honorable, somebody that takes the initiative to be integrous, and just live my life according to, you know.
I mean, that's awesome. I have 3 kids as well, older, so setting the example, that's another thing I kind of wanted to push when I joined the police department is you're never too old to follow your dreams. So, you know, my kids can never say, well, you never tried this, Dad. Oh, yes, I did, and, you know, I didn't give up. But I love to serve. Again, being in the military, I love serving the community, volunteering. So that's kind of the way I see myself, as just giving back as much as I possibly can to the community and the residents of Suffolk.
Absolutely, and I want to talk to you, kind of bouncing off that, Officer Fechner. You got the Leadership Award at the Academy.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me a little bit about that, kind of maybe what went into that to get that award? You've kind of already told us some things that point out why you may have, but what does that mean to you, and kind of how did that come about?
So everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, numerous personnel are chosen to lead the academy, which is a group between 60 to 75 recruits. Like Bass was able to lead the group for a week or two, and then he would abruptly get fired. Not because he didn't do anything wrong, they just made it seem like, you're fired, somebody else needs to come in and fix this type thing. And then somebody else would come in and lead for 2 weeks or so. Some led for less, some led for more. Trying to give everybody the opportunity to kind of feel the pressure and how to lead a group. I led the group for about a month during the driving portion, and once we returned back, as we all came back as a full complete class. Your peers vote on the Leadership Award, but again, it's nothing that I strived for to get an award. I didn't, you know, set my goal, because really we didn't really know much about the end of the class awards that they even offered. It's just kind of how I behave. I've always been a father figure. Again, I led almost 2,000 personnel at my last job before I joined the police department. So it's just kind of what I'm used to doing. Again, they vote on the person they felt that throughout the entire academy did the most for the group. The person who was out there, vulnerable, you know, mentor, and so forth.
If I can piggyback, as one of his fellow classmates, Fechner is the type of person who leads by example and also takes the initiative to help people when they need that help, right? He comes from his experience in the military, understanding like, hey, this is what this looks like in a rank structure. And so with that, he understands like some of the kind of mental tasks that may be at hand for some of the younger people and some of the people who, you know, this is just a new thing for them. So he was able to identify where they might be lacking and be like, hey, you might need to do X, Y, Z. And because of that, a lot of people were able to get through the academy because he was always forward thinking on how to get people through, because he knew he could get through it, But as a leader, it's not about what you can do for yourself, it's what you can do for the people. And people turn to him because he took that initiative. Like, hey guys, make sure your uniform is straight. Make sure you shine your boots. You know that we might potentially have a test or this. Make sure you study, bring this book, do this. And it's not that he wanted to do that to get an award. It's just, that's who he is. And so he did that, and when the end of the year came for us to acknowledge who would be our leaders, and as a person who stood up there at the beginning of the class, like I was the first class leader, right? And I'm like, oh man, this is, it is pressure, but it's nothing like out of the normal. As somebody that stood there and seeing how he executed, I tipped my hat to him because I was like, oh, as a leader, I'm like, okay, these are some things that I can learn how to do better. I like his approach on certain things. And so, like I said, when it came to the end of the class, I think it was kind of a no-brainer. Like there was maybe a second close, maybe close opponent or vote, but I think overall the class was like, yeah, that just, because he's the same way. He'll laugh and joke with you, but he was stern, and again, he always led by example. So
That's cool.
Thank you.
And that's nice coming from him. I know we've learned one thing about police officers is that they're humble, and normally when they get an award, they're like, I was just doing my job. But it's nice to hear it from your peers.
It is. Appreciate it.
Of course.
And is there anything else that you would like to add about your journey and what's to come?
I think I'm excited to learn, I'm excited to learn this community. As somebody that's from kind of like a small town that's not a small town, like I go through these streets, especially downtown, like I kind of see myself in these situations like it was, not too long ago, or I got nieces and nephews that kind of live in similar situations. So for me, it's identifying that and seeing that change can happen, right? And so just want to be an example of like, how can I be that? And then also some of the officers that's been here a while, I can see myself like, I like this person, I like how this person handles themselves. So just inspiring to be, again, the next. Because eventually, some of these older officers, they're gonna retire and probably come back part-time, because that's the thing here. But for me, I was like, okay, when it's my chance and my opportunity, how will I lead? How will I be an example for the next group of guys and girls that come through this? So for me, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking to improve on and make my way in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to joining the team. Again, like I said earlier, I enjoy the team aspect. I look forward to joining the ranks of the personnel who have already kind of set the way. I just hope that we can live up to what they've done, and like Bass was saying, we'll be able to take from each different person, 'cause each officer is going to offer something different. So we'll take from what we can and put it towards our skills, and hopefully again we serve the residents with the utmost respect, and we do great things.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I know you guys are in the FTO phase right now where you're kind of learning the ways of Suffolk. Like you said, the academy is kind of a baseline and now how we do things here. But I know they'll be happy to have you guys on the street once your time comes.
I look forward to it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today, Officer Bass and Officer Fechner. And thank you everyone for watching this week's episode of Peanut City Police. We'll see you next time.